In March of 2018, across an entire continent, oven clocks broke. Not phones, not laptops, just the humble clocks in kitchens. Spain, Poland, Germany, the Netherlands. 100 million clocks, all running slow. And all slow by the same strange amount, 6 minutes. These clocks share no network, no internet, no update server. Yet a clock in Lisbon and a clock in Warsaw drifted together, in sync, like they were all listening to the same broken metronome, because, in a very real sense, they were. And the reason that metronome broke was not a solar flare and not a software bug. It was an argument between two governments over an unpaid electricity bill. To understand how politics slowed down your kitchen, you need to meet the largest machine ever built. The electricity in your wall is not a steady stream. It is a vibration, flipping direction 50 times every second. That is what 50 hertz means. It is not a specification. It is a pulse, a heartbeat humming inside every socket in Europe. Decades ago, engineers realized something clever. If the grid pulses 50 times a second, cheap appliances do not need their own timekeeper. Just count the pulses. 50 counts is 1 second. 3,000 counts is a minute. Your oven clock is not a clock. It is a counter. It listens to the heartbeat of the power grid, counts along, and calls the result time. Which is elegant. Right up until you ask the question that unravels everything. Who exactly is keeping the beat? Almost all electricity is made the same way. Something heavy spins a magnet inside a coil of wire, steam, gas, falling water, and the speed of that spin is the frequency. A turbine at perfect speed makes a perfect 50 hertz. Keep the speed, keep the beat. But every time you switch something on, you grab that spinning wheel and drag on it. A kettle, a factory, a train. Demand drags the wheel. Generation pushes it. The beat holds only if push and drag balance perfectly. Every single second. Forever. And now the part that sounds like exaggeration. Every power plant on the grid is connected by the wires, so they are coupled. A turbine in Portugal and a turbine in Poland spin in lockstep right now, like drummers who may never stop and never drift. Continental Europe is one synchronized machine. 25 countries, Spain to Turkey. The largest machine human beings have ever built. When you flip a light switch, you tug, measurably, on every generator across the continent. You are part of the machine, so the beat holds if everyone takes what someone puts in. What happens if somebody simply takes more? In January 2018, somebody did. Kosovo and Serbia. Two neighbors with unresolved history. Kosovo declared independence in 2008. Serbia does not recognize it. Both are wired into the European machine, and in late 2017, their political standoff spilled directly into the power system. Parts of northern Kosovo were consuming electricity that, amid the dispute, nobody was paying to generate. The books stopped balancing. Under the grid's rules, Serbia was supposed to step in and cover the shortfall. Because of the standoff, it did not. So from mid-January, the whole machine consumed slightly more than it produced. No blackout, no sparks. The wheel just dragged. The average beat across the continent sagged from 50 hertz to 49.996. A whisper of a change. But your oven was counting that beat, expecting 50 pulses a second, receiving slightly fewer, collecting seconds just a little too slowly. About a third of a second lost every hour. Run that through January, February, and into March. Close to 6 minutes on every counting clock on the whole machine from Lisbon to Warsaw. Mystery solved. The grid's operators published perhaps the most European sentence ever written, a formal engineering bulletin asking politicians to please fix the clocks. The missing energy came to 113 gigawatt hours. Someone had to generate it all back just to let the clocks catch up. 100 million clocks, slowed by an unpaid bill. And honestly, that is the gentle version of this story. Here is the terrifying one. February 2021. Texas. A brutal, historic cold snap. And Texas runs its own grid, barely connected to its neighbors. Normally, that is a point of pride. Nobody can drag your wheel down. But it also means nobody can help you push. The cold hits. Demand explodes as millions of heaters switch on at once. And at the same time, the supply starts dying. Instruments and pipelines freeze across every fuel. Gas, coal, wind, even a nuclear unit. Power plants drop off the grid, one after another. At the worst moment, nearly half the state's generation was gone. Massive drag on the wheel, vanishing push. The beat began to fall. Here is why a falling beat is lethal. Big turbines are precision machines, built to spin at the grid's exact rhythm. Run them off beat, and they can physically tear themselves apart. So every plant has an automatic reflex. Disconnect and save the machinery. Feel the trap. Frequency falls. A plant disconnects to protect itself, which removes push, so the frequency falls faster. So the next plant disconnects. A stampede. Every drummer who quits makes the beat collapse faster for everyone left playing. Past a certain point, no human can stop it. The entire grid goes down in a cascade. Texas was approaching that point. At 1:51 in the morning, February 15th, the Texas grid fell below 59.4 hertz. The danger line? Operators began cutting power to millions of people. On purpose. Shrinking the drag to save the wheel. Blackouts as a tourniquet. It worked. After 4 minutes and 23 seconds under the line, the frequency clawed its way back. Barely. Officials later revealed the margin that had remained before the collapse became unstoppable. 4 minutes. 37 seconds. Had that clock run out? A black start. Dead plants need power to restart. Weeks of darkness for 26 million people in lethal cold. That was the machine's worst day in decades. Here is why this is not a history lesson. The machine is being rebuilt while it runs. Solar panels and batteries do not spin. Heavy steel is leaving the system. All that spinning metal did a quiet second job. Its momentum was a shock absorber, buying operators precious seconds when things broke. Engineers are replacing it with batteries that answer in milliseconds. A live renovation of a machine that can never be switched off. Meanwhile, demand is exploding. Data centers for artificial intelligence are the largest new load the machine has faced in a generation. And in April 2025, Spain and Portugal went completely dark. Europe's worst grid failure in over 20 years. The official investigation found no single villain. Oscillations, voltage control gaps, generators disconnecting wrongly, a cascade faster than any human could act. That is the real story. Failures are evolving faster than the old defenses, and the people keeping your lights on are, astonishingly, mostly winning. So, the clock on your oven? It was never really a clock. It is a clock. It is a stethoscope pressed against the wall of your kitchen, listening to the pulse of a continent. Turbines, lakes inside mountains, and control rooms where somebody, right now, is keeping the beat. In 2018, 100 million clocks ran slow, and almost nobody realized what they had witnessed. A continent's heartbeat, skipping. Next time the clock on your microwave looks wrong, maybe check the news before you blame the microwave. Thanks for watching.